Various news outlets are reporting that Elizabeth Warren is now planning on hitting the campaign trail with Hillary Clinton. So she recently endorsed her, and now they're taking it a step further here. So let's be clear up front about this. I was massively disappointed that she didn't endorse Bernie earlier on. The one fact that put that in perspective to me that made me view it slightly differently, although not totally differently, is that she was the only female member of Congress who didn't endorse Hillary Clinton. So I have no doubt that behind the scenes there was a lot of pressure on her where they're like, what are you doing? We have a Democrat, a female Democrat who has a chance at winning, first female president in U.S. history, and you're not saying anything? What the fuck is wrong with you? So I think she was getting that kind of pressure, but let's face it, if you look at her record, Elizabeth Warren's, her policy positions are overwhelmingly in agreement with Bernie Sanders. There's no way you can say she's equal to Hillary Clinton in her sell-outedness. That's just not true. Her record shows she's much more in alignment with Bernie Sanders. So I've given you guys my theory on this before. I think Hillary Clinton approached her, and there were, reports on them meeting too, by the way, early on in the race. And she said, what do you need to endorse me? So Hillary's ready to make a deal. And I think Elizabeth Warren said, I'm not going to endorse you yet. I'm not going to endorse you. And then Hillary said, okay, well, what do you need for me to buy your neutrality? And then Elizabeth Warren said, well, if you're the nominee, then I'll endorse you and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I do think there was politicking going on behind the scenes here. And I don't think the narrative is as simple as Elizabeth Warren sold out and that's the end of the conversation. No, that's too black and white, and that disregards what actually happens in Washington and what goes on behind the scenes. Now, again, does this deduct points from Elizabeth Warren? Yes. It shows that she's not Bernie Sanders. She's a watered-down version of Bernie Sanders. So she's still progressive. She's still liberal, still way to the left of Hillary Clinton, but you're no Bernie Sanders. You could have endorsed him, and maybe he would have won Massachusetts, and it wouldn't have changed the race overall, but it would have helped in Massachusetts. He would have won Massachusetts. That would as another state, okay, because it was very close in Massachusetts. She's the senator for Massachusetts. It could have helped Bernie if she did endorse him. But I was disappointed she didn't endorse him. But then when everybody in the world called the race for Hillary Clinton and she came out and endorsed her, there's an alternative scenario here that very few people have brought up, which is kind of like a Trojan horse scenario, where there's a two-pronged attack. Bernie tried to wage the revolution up front and say, I'm going to run against Hillary Clinton, I'm going to be progressive, and I'm going to try to win this thing. That's what Bernie did. And Elizabeth Warren was the backup plan, where she says, you know what, I'm going to play politics here behind the scenes, and if Hillary Clinton ends up winning, I'm going to go for that VP slot and try to get in the White House so I can be the progressive voice of reason behind the scenes that pushes her in certain directions and kind of plays that Dick Cheney role that Dick Cheney did with George Bush, where it's like, pulling the puppet strings when George Bush doesn't even realize it. So there's a chance that this was a calculated strategy from the beginning to, in one way or another, assure there's a progressive in the White House. But if it's not that, then it's just the case that Elizabeth Warren isn't as progressive as we thought she was, even though she's still progressive. But she is more willing to play ball with the establishment and to work from within the system. So there was the endorsement, and then now she's campaigning with her, and Mediaite reports this. Listen to this. This is an email from the Hillary campaign that was just released. Hillary Clinton will return to Ohio on Monday, June 27th, to campaign with U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren at a public event in Cincinnati. Clinton and Warren will discuss their shared commitment to building an America that is stronger together and an economy that works for everyone, not just those at the top. Additional details about the event will be released soon. So that last line, additional details about the event will be released soon. Some people are speculating maybe she is going to get VP. Now, I said a while back I didn't think she was going to get it, and I didn't think she's going to get it for a number of reasons, but she actually is massively more liberal than Hillary Clinton. And also, she does kind of outshine her. Like Hillary Clinton, we all know what Hillary Clinton is. She's a product of the establishment. She is the status quo. She is business as usual. She's a continuation of the Obama administration, except a little further right on the spectrum. That's what Hillary Clinton is. It's like, yay, milquetoast neoliberalism, yay. That doesn't generate that kind of excitement. Elizabeth Warren, again, her record is actually progressive. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, boom. Case closed. She's already massively more liberal than Hillary Clinton. So to pick her would be to, like, you know, almost give up the spotlight a little bit. And I don't think Hillary Clinton wants to give up the spotlight. And then also there was the story about how the Wall Street donors were like, anybody but Elizabeth Warren. If you pick Elizabeth Warren, the money's going to dry up. We're not going to donate to you as much because, again, she has a record of being against Wall Street and fighting Wall Street. That's her whole thing. That's how she built her career, okay? So if indeed that's true, and she is the VP pick, that will help Hillary Clinton's chances. Now, I know there are a lot of Bernie supporters in my audience who view this as like, no, Hillary Clinton is so obscene and so bad and so corrupt that this gives her left cover by getting a more progressive person, but she's going to continue to run roughshod and be terrible. And it's just a way to get the votes without actually changing anything. Maybe, but again, my counter-argument to that has always been, wouldn't you rather have more progressive voices in the administration no matter what? No matter what? Why wouldn't you want to make a shitty Hillary Clinton administration more liberal by any means necessary? So it's almost like even if that's the case, the net result, if you load the administration up with progressives, is still better. So I know there are some people who are, you know, in the never Hillary camp who are Bernie supporters. Totally get it, man. I'm not voting for her here in New York. But I think this would help her. This would up her chances of winning the election. And this would make it where if she were to win the election, it wouldn't be as scary in administration. Because you always want that voice in the room that's going to be like, sure about that? Sure about that? Ground invasion of Syria? Really? That's what we're going to do here? That's what we're going to do? You know who the rebels are? You know it's Nusra, which is Al-Qaeda and ISIS? Sure about that? Well, more deregulation. That's cute. Why the fuck would you do that? Talk to me about that. And this could be the, you know, Elizabeth Warren's a little angel over Hillary Clinton's shoulder. Really? More right-wing stuff? You sure about that? So, look, we're reading a lot in between the lines here and whatnot, but if she does pick her as VP, that is totally out of left field, absolutely surprising, and it would overall be a good thing. It would be a good thing. So, we're going to have to see here. But it's exciting to wait and see because I think what's more likely, is that she does go with somebody who's her flavor. Because remember, they run 90s styles campaigns. They run Bill Clinton style campaigns where they think, oh, run to the left in the primary, run to the right in the general, as if the country's like that today, and they want that. They don't. The polls show they want progressives, period. So, but she might pick, in alignment with that philosophy, she might go with somebody who's equally as right-wing as her or even to the right of her. And that would mean her campaign's in serious, serious trouble because they got no clue what the fuck they're doing.